Let's talk all about 2017 and the year that was. Hi, I'm Sam. Welcome to Weekly Mini Training, and this week we're going to do a week in review. I know it's not 2018 yet, and I know it's only the first week of December, but I'm running a planning session on Wednesday this week. Actually, as the video goes out live to you guys, I'll probably be doing it. I'll be running the session then at exactly that same time. I'm running a session on planning for 2018, and I was writing down some notes today, and I really thought that I wanted to share them with you too, because it's really relevant when it comes to thinking about next year, is that we have to think about what happened this year first. So I know it's not over yet, I know it's a little bit premature, but let's do a review of 2017, the year that was. Now, if you saw my video a couple of weeks back, maybe a month or so ago, about my year that was, it was a pretty rough year. I've had some really big downs, but I've also had some really big ups. Like, it's been a massive year. It's a year where I got married and we bought a house, and I'm pregnant and a baby's due in about 2 months, 2.5 months. So there's been a lot going on. But from a work standpoint, or from a work point of view, I really didn't get anywhere near as much done as I had thought I would. And so it's really easy to get down on yourself. So when I was starting to think about next year and a review of this year, I asked myself some specific questions, and I want you to do the same. Grab yourself a pen and paper or a notepad. I'm going to take you through the 6 things you need to think about to get ready for next year, one by one, and I want to make sure that you're doing them as we go. So feel free to pause the video as you go along if you need to. Write the stuff down. Don't promise yourself you'll get back to this later, because you and I both know you never will. Yep, I know. So you ready? Okay, a year in review. Review? Review. A year in review. Question number 1. What were your goals for 2017? Now, this is hard, so it depends on if you had any clear goals. But what were your goals? If you didn't have clear written down goals, at least just think back to the beginning of the year and what you had actually intended to get done. So I had some fairly clear goals. At the beginning of 2017, I had sat down with a spreadsheet. I'd created some revenue targets. I created some goals with some things I actually wanted to achieve throughout the year in terms of workshops I wanted to run and things I wanted to do. So what were your goals? It's really hard to know how the year went if you don't know what you were planning on doing in the first place, right? Right. Okay, number 2. Actually, no, let's go back. Part of number 1. Did you get those things done? I know I didn't get all of mine done, but did you get those things done? Make a note. Okay, number 2. What did you actually get done? So for me, this was a really big one, right? With question 1, what were your goals? I looked at my goals and went, oh, well, that was a bit rough. Okay, so I didn't meet half of my goals for the year. However, when I looked at question 2, what did I actually get done? It was a buttload of stuff. I spoke on podcasts, I ran at live events, I ran live workshops, I did all of the personal stuff in between that comes with getting married and buying a house, and that made for a huge year as well. So when I wrote down a list of the stuff I did actually get done, it was huge. I've recorded there's like 50 videos recorded, there's new modules released to the Academy, there's all sorts of stuff going on. I built a course for PPC, which is rolling out. I building 2 other courses for 2 other people as well. So even if I maybe didn't get my stuff done, got lots of stuff done for other people. And that was part of, I guess, what I wanted to do for the year, is really produce good quality stuff. And that happens still. So for question number 2, I want you to write down, what did you get done? Go back and dig through your diary here if you need to. Go and have a look at your YouTube list or your Facebook page and really have a look at what things you did get done, because you might be surprised that there's more there than you thought there was. How many blogs did you get out? How many emails did you send? That might be a hard one, but think about like newsletters to your emailing list. Yeah, how many newsletters did you send? How many things did you do? And I'm sure there is much more on that list than you realize, and you deserve on the pat on the back for that. So what did you actually do? Number 3. What worked well? So you might not have hit all your goals, you might not have done everything you wanted to do, but throughout the year when you look back, there were things that definitely did work for you. So what worked well? For example, I really enjoy running live events. I know that. I really enjoy meeting with a small group of people. Right? I also know that I get on better when I see people on a semi-regular basis rather than when I'm working home alone all day, every day. So for me, I know what worked well. I want you to go back and have a look at things. So this is where you can get really analytical. You can start to have a look at your number of views on certain blog posts or certain videos. You can have a look at the open rate of certain emails and email headers. Really start to go back and have a look at your year and look at what worked well. Of your products and services, which one sold the best? Which one generated the most revenue? And which one generated the most profit? Because those are two completely different things. So just because it sold really well, if you're not making any money off it, it's not a great move anyway. So I want you to really be analytical here when I ask you what went well. What worked well for you? Now that might be, like I said, I know where I work well, I know who I work well with, I know what sold well. So it might be those sorts of things, but go and have a look at the data as well. Don't just make assumptions. Go and have a look at the number of views on a blog post, or the number of sales you made, or the percentage of profit margin you made, and actually find out what worked well for the year. Number 4, what didn't work so well? Okay, so time to be honest here. What really wasn't working for you this year? Now, that's not to say you can't give it another go next year, but there is no point running yourself around and running circles doing the same thing if it doesn't work for you, or if you just don't want to do it. So look back at the year that was and really think about what didn't work quite so well. So there was a couple of things for me that didn't work so well. I took on board a couple of clients who, in hindsight, the warning signs were there and I probably shouldn't have taken on board. I know myself, I know the clients I like to work with, I know the clients who get things done and the ones who don't get as far as they need to get. I know the ones who always bail out and pull out halfway. And when I look back at the year that was, I can see there's a couple of moments where I took on things or suggested projects that I should never have said yes to because I just know that it wasn't going to work for me. So really start to look back and go, what didn't work? There is no point planning to do all that stuff again next year if it didn't work for you this year. So I want you to be really, really honest with it. So when you answer those 4 questions, you've got a fairly good review of what happened. Now you can, of course, go into far more depth. So you might go back and analyze your profit and loss statement. You might go and look at all your different financials, but at least get a rough idea of what's working and what's not before you move on. Which leads us to next year. So number 5, I'm going to run out of fingers for this. Number 5, what do you want to do next year? There's a couple of ways you can look at this. 1, set a sales goal. Like, how much money do you want to make? And that could be how much money do you want the business to make, but then also how much money do you want to take as a wage? Because I want you to get paid too. But it's not just that. I want you to think about the other things you want to do. So do you want to write a book? Do you want to release a course? Do you want to rebrand your website? What do you want to get done through the year? Do you want to start running live workshops? Do you want to run more of them or less of them? Like, really start to think about, what do you actually want next year to look like? Now, believe it or not, I actually found this question kind of hard. There's a new baby on the way, and I'm not sure how it's going to exist in with the existing juggle of having 3 kids anyway, and an ex-husband, and shared custody, and everything else that's going on already. I don't know how that's all going to fit together, and because I don't know, I'm unsure about what I wanted the business to look like as well. So I actually had to sit down for quite a long time to think about this question, and to think about what I wanted to get done next year. So that's what I want you to do. Sit down, look at the year ahead, and just go, what do I actually want? Do I want to take on more one-on-one customers or less? Do I want to build more stuff that's leveraged, like courses and books, or do I want less of that? Do I enjoy the one-on-one work? What do you actually want to do with the year? Because if you don't know what you want to do, then the rest of us can't help you. Lastly then, number 6. See, I ran out of fingers on one hand. Number 6, schedule that in. So you cannot do everything all at the same time. It just doesn't work. I know this because I try on a regular basis. So if you want to launch 3 courses and 2 books and whatever else throughout the year, you cannot do all of that in January. It doesn't fit. There is no time for it. There's no time for you to create the product, and then there's no time for you to market it well to be able to sell it if you're trying to do 5 or 6 things at once. So what I want you to do is I want you to look back at that list of things that you said you wanted for the year. If it's sales, break them down over the year and work out where they're going to fall. Do you have months that are busier than others? Is it like retail and you know you're going to make the bulk of your sales in November, December? Is January going to be really quiet for you? Like, really think about where those sales will fall. But then I want you to think about projects as well. So if you've said you want to write a course, where? Like, when do you want to launch that thing by? Because if you want to launch in, say, April, you got a hell of a lot of work to be doing in January, February, and March to be ready for that launch in April. If you want to launch in December, then you've got, the year to work it out. But don't let yourself go, I want to do 20 things next year and not actually put them anywhere, because it's not going to happen, because they're not all going to fit. Trust me when I say this, speaking from experience right here. Okay, so that's what I want you to do, all right? So when you're looking to next year, work out number 5, what do you actually want to achieve? And number 5, what do you actually want to achieve? And number 6, where is it all going to fit? like what month is it going to happen in, because you cannot do it all in January. You just can't. So that's it for this week. I really wanted you to spend some time looking at the year in review. I don't want you to leave it till, say, January 1st, because that's an ideal time to get started on something new while you're all fresh and excited. So it's worth moving ahead and really pushing forwards. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.